What's up? Look at my crazy hair today. It's just going like this. Oh, okay. Hi. Let me do this. There we go. Welcome. It is 8:32 p.m. on Friday, January 8th, 2021. My name is Jarrett Earl Casey, and I'm at my apartment in Midville, Utah, with my cat Charlotte, who's amazing. Huh? Are you amazing? Yeah, okay. Anyways, so today was not my best day, not my favorite day, not my worst day, and not my least favorite day, but it was certainly on the lesser of the favorite days. I woke up at 3:35 a.m. and I thought that's too early. So I went back to sleep. But I really just laid down and I was thinking in my head until I finally did fall back asleep. And then I woke up at 5:56 and I got up and this man in my head who's very calm, but also very somber. He was like Eeyore. Um, said he was giving up on me because even though I had woken up at 3:35 and I had been told that I could go back to sleep as long as it was before 4:15, that I needed to be back asleep by 4:15 or else I needed to get out of bed. So I didn't do that. I probably fell back asleep around 4:45 or 5. And so he was giving up on me. And so I got frustrated and I decided, okay, well, then I'm going to give up because I'm so sick of this. And I went back to sleep, which only made matters worse. And I got out of bed at around 9, and it was just an awful start to the day. I could already feel myself drifting through space. and it was just not a good feeling. So I kind of bungled around, and then I forgot that I had signed up my mom was like, "Oh, Intermountain Healthcare is offering free COVID-19 tests." Now, I had a coronavirus test this summer from the University of Utah medical team. And I don't know why they sometimes say coronavirus and why they sometimes say COVID. My understanding is they're the same thing, but I get this feeling that sometimes people are referring to different things because people are just not that upfront. So, anyways, I had a coronavirus test this summer, and my mom just got a COVID test last week, and she said, "Oh, IHC is offering these free tests. You should sign up and get one." So I signed up, and I immediately was like, "Should I have done that?" It was through this company called Cortiva or something, Cortiva Labs. I thought, oh, maybe I won't go. Can I cancel it? The email looked a little weird, but I thought, then someone was like, no, just go get it. You should get it. It's important. They want to test people. They want to make sure that people get tested. So I went today and my test was at 11. I was a little late. And I walked in, they're like, you need your smartphone. So I pulled up my smartphone and you need to click on the link and fill out these things. And one of the questions was, is this your first test? And so I asked him, I said, I had a coronavirus test this summer. So would this be my second test? And he's like, no, 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 no. Because this is a different test. So this is your first time taking the different test. Okay. Great. Then I'll put yes. And then they had me pull up my phone. I had to take a picture of or scan the test, the little test tube, and then I had to swab my nose and circle it 4 times in each nostril, and then give it back. And that was that. I had to click an agreement though, and so tonight I was going through the agreement, and it seemed a little shady to get this free test. Saying thing it just I just don't understand this world. I just don't understand it. But anyways, so hopefully it comes back negative, and hopefully it doesn't work against me that I took this free test at Intermountain Healthcare for COVID. So, but I think that my teeth. Um, anyways, that I just felt compelled to share that. So then I was feeling a little down because I was like, was that a shady test place? Was that not supposed to happen? I don't really know. There's strange people everywhere. There's no place like home. I'm like trying to click my heels. Please get me back home. And so I went to Subway and I got a veggie sandwich and a cookie because I was like, I would like a cookie. And there was a cute guy working there, and he sat and talked to me for a minute about how much he loved to read. He was reading a lot. He liked to read biographies. And he was very kind. So then I finished my sandwich and I started walking. I just decided to walk home. I had taken the train there, but I just walked home. And so I was like, I want another cookie. So I thought, I'm going to go to Arby's and get another cookie. I'm just going to be bad. I shouldn't be spending money and eating cookies, but I'm depressed. I have a lot of feelings and I'm going to eat cookies. So Arby's wasn't open. So then I thought, oh, well, what about Zaxby's? And they had a cookie and also fried mushrooms. So I ate those, and then I started walking again, and right next door was Freddy's Custard, and I thought, I'm gonna go into Freddy's and see if they have cookies. I'm just gonna keep going to places and seeing if they have cookies. I just wanna eat all the cookies. Well, they had a cookie ice cream sandwich or cookie custard sandwich and fried cheese curds. So I ate those. And then I felt really guilty because I had eaten too much. Not very healthy food. I've been trying to be more healthy. It was vegetarian though, because I think I'm moving in that direction. But at the end of the day, I'd spent $16 and I'd eaten junk food at 3 different places, although the veggie sandwich was not junk food. So I felt even more gross. I thought, okay, what an awful day. I slept in. This guy gave up on me. I feel very far from home. I took a COVID exam for free, but it might have been from some shady people. I don't know. And but it's at IHC, so we trust it, right? We trust IHC. And my mom told me to take it, and I trust my mom. And my logic kicks in, and I'm like, no, it's a public health initiative. They just want to make sure people are negative. But why that agreement? Because when I got it done at the university with the University of Utah, I didn't have to sign anything like that. They just gave it to me. It was just a service. But anyway, so I'm like, I don't know. I have a gross feeling about that. And then I'm eating all this junk food because it might be my last day on earth. It might not be, but that's kind of how I felt this morning. I thought, I don't even know. I don't even know. I feel so far from home and so far from love that I just don't even know if my world or my people want me here anymore, or if they're just kind of just waiting for me to kill myself, or waiting for someone to kill me, or just waiting, I don't know, like I am for a miracle. I used to think I was a miracle. Sometimes I still do. But I just kept wanting to eat. So then I walked the rest of the way home and I decided I'm just going to go to sleep. I need a little bit of time to process and grieve. So I went to sleep. And then I talked to my mom on the phone. I think I talked to her on the phone first, I'm sorry, and then I went to sleep. And I just laid there with Charlotte, and she's such a great cat. The great Catsby. Um, and I did get some rest. And in my mind, we were speaking on, oh, I had filed this complaint with OSHA, and investigator got back with me, but I'm not quite sure about that email or that communication either. And I'd applied for a job with Homey as a title officer. I thought, I think I could do that. But now I'm not so sure. But I mean, I know I could. I've got the capability. I'm fully able. But I that email was also auto-generated. Sometimes I feel like I'm in this closed circuit of communications, like kind of where not much is getting out, and I don't think much is getting in, but there's this kind of circular um, world or dimension that I'm in that's not that I think is really struggling. But I thought, do I reach back out to this investigator, even though I'm not 100% confident that he's legit, or and do I get back to schedule this interview with Homie, even though I feel the same way, or do I hold out for something that feels more real, even though I need a job? Um, I would like a good job working for a good company where I can feel safe in a safe place. Not that I feel, I mean, I'm safe, right? I'm safe, I think. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I sometimes I think when I went to the hospital in March and they tied me to the bed and they shot me up with something, did I go to sleep in one world and wake up in another? It feels that way sometimes. Um, Everything's the same, but it's all so different, and I don't see the same people anymore. Or did has that happened more recently? And they keep talking about how they want to awaken me to this or awaken me to that, or awaken me in the future or in the past, or successfully, um, or downstairs is what they say sometimes. I say, what do you mean downstairs? But that always means not so good. Like maybe I'll be treated badly or made to suffer. And I think, why would you do that? Why can't I just go home? Why can't I just wake up and be back home and kind of start there? But and then some people say they want to awaken me sexually because I don't know. Oh, okay. Someone said because you need to have sex. Well, because I don't have sex. That's true. um, and some people say I just keep hearing different things. I think, what a strange, strange world. I just don't understand. But here I am, and I hope I keep saying, I really just I'd like to go home. I'd like to be around the people I know and love and trust. I'd like to be in a safe place. I'd like to know everyone I know and love is safe. If I have to work, because in my understanding, a large awakening, a public awakening, is usually one of togetherness and coming together and learning and teaching and guiding and sharing and expressing and talking, a lot of talking, and kind of going, traveling, visiting, gifting. Um, but it tends to be the most impactful through time and space. Sorry. For everyone involved. Okay, thank you. But in absence of that, if I have to kind of be a normal person and have a job where I work, which is great. I just had 2 jobs. It's just they were just awful jobs where I no longer felt safe, and everybody was manipulative and evasive. So I keep thinking, okay, well, if I have to have a job, I'd like to just have a good job working for a good company, where I can just a good, honest job working for a good, honest company with good, honest people. Um, and I can work for years. I'm to that point now. I can definitely work very consistently. But it just seems like this world doesn't really want that. It does, and it doesn't. It doesn't know what it wants. Um, so yeah. And I heard today that the church gave up on me too. So that's why I'm so depressed. I was like, I just need to sleep. I laid down. This guy immediately was starting to try and punish me. He said he was arranging for me to awaken incorrectly for the rest of my life. And I thought, can you just hold off on that? I just need like 3 days to just process and grieve. I'm just going to sleep and eat and pray and just think, stare at the wall, pet my cat, sleep some more, maybe call someone, maybe not. I just need some time. And then if you can evaluate me then. But if you could just give me a few days, that would be very helpful. um, so that's kind of where I'm at. And I think I did somebody was talking to me about temple worthiness, or just worthiness, that they didn't see me as worthy, as a worthy person. And I really take issue with that. I have to constantly say, we're all inherently valuable. We're all already worthy. I'm absolutely a worthy person, of the fullness of the kingdom, of my entire inheritance, which is the kingdom, and um, of the fullness and richness of the love of God and Jesus Christ. I'm fully worthy of all of those things. I already am. Um, and I talked about why people were keeping me at such a distance, not speaking, choosing not to speak to me. And he had brought up again some sort of thing about worthiness. And so I had to say, and temple covenants and these things. And I said, if that's something that you want to talk about, if that's something that's being required of me, then all you have to do is talk to me and let me know. You don't have to wait until I'm temple worthy to speak to me about temple worthiness. Um, and I said, all of these requirements that are very temporary. They're temporal. There are requirements that you've decided to have in time. But you need to also know that we all exist outside of time. And in that existence, we're already perfect. And that is every much who we are right here, right now in time, as it is who we are outside of time. And furthermore, as you look forward into time, you can see that and backward through time, that there are so many points in this journey that we are fully, wholly, and completely worthy of everything. I mean, we already are even now, but you can see these times where you go, okay, wow, that's what an amazing person. And so you can go to someone and say, hey, I see you. I see you truly. I see you as a worthy person. I know you are. I know this is true. I see you as perfect. And um, I want to talk to you about that because I feel so passionate about you being that perfect person that I see when I look at you, or when I look past what you might seem to be struggling right now and see that perfect soul that's there. And so I want to talk to you about these agreements that we have in time, these temporary agreements to live these certain things. And um, I want you to know that I already see you as having done that, even if it's in the future. And I want you to know the fullness and richness of living, what living like that can bring for you. And because I already see you that way. And I want to know if you might feel comfortable making that agreement again right now, today. And I will be here for you in that decision. And I will remind you as many times as it takes who I see when I look at you. And I don't see you as an unworthy person or somebody who isn't good enough, but I see you as my future, as your future. I see you as perfect. And I just want you to know that. And I want you to walk with me, or I want to walk with you. I don't want to lose you. And whatever that requirement is that is so temporary or temporal, and whoever you are, and maybe it's not a temple covenant, maybe it's something else. I think those are such important conversations to have with the people that you love. Um, that we might all be together through time and not lose one another to little squabbles or misunderstandings, to also very temporary struggles and shortcomings. That we might be upheld as one, found together in love, and walking in peace. And I can't help but think, I wish I wish that I had known, or I guess awakened earlier in life, or had somebody sit me down and speak to me, because these are the conversations I would very much like to have with people. But I don't know if that will ever happen. I hope it does. But it was very difficult to hear that So many people have chosen to give up on me without ever really speaking to me. They keep saying that the mind is the only way they can speak to me. But there's just so much static there, so much manipulation, and so much. It's such a way of speaking from the shadows, and I recognize when the Holy Spirit is speaking to me, or when the prophet is speaking with me. But so many of these other voices, I just don't know who they are. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I can't see you. If we could establish a contact in person, and then I could make that connection, then I think that might make all the difference. But until I feel you speaking with me, what is this? Sorry. Until I feel you speaking with me, right through me, which is how I do have several people speak, then you're just a voice that, and so many of these voices are so manipulative, so punishing. So distant. Anyways. Um so that's my day. I had curried cauliflower and a peanut butter jelly sandwich and an avocado and several bowls of cereal. So I'm definitely depressed because I'm eating a lot. Let's read from the actual text today. This is chapter 13, The Guiltless World. Section 3, The Fear of Redemption. Oh my. You may wonder why it is so crucial that you look upon your hatred and realize its full extent. You may also think that it would be easy enough for the Holy Spirit to show it to you and to dispel it without the need for you to raise it to awareness yourself. Yet there is one more obstacle you have interposed between yourself and the atonement. We have said that no one will countenance fear if he recognizes it. Yet in your disordered state of mind, you are not afraid of fear. You do not like it, but it is not your desire to attack that really frightens you. You are not seriously disturbed by your hostility. You keep it hidden because you are more afraid of what it covers. You could look even upon the ego's darkest cornerstone without fear if you did not believe that without the ego, you would find within yourself something you fear even more. You are not really afraid of crucifixion. Your real terror is of redemption. Under the ego's dark foundation is the memory of God, and it is of this that you are really afraid. For this memory would instantly restore you to your proper place, and it is this place that you have sought to leave. Your fear of attack is nothing compared to your fear of love. You would be willing to look even upon your savage wish to kill God's Son if you did not believe that it saves you from love. For this wish caused the separation, and you have protected it because you do not want the separation healed. You realize that by removing the dark cloud that obscures it, your love for your Father would impel you to answer his call and leap into heaven. You believe that attack is salvation because it would prevent you from this. For still deeper than the ego's foundation and much stronger than it will ever be is your intense and burning love of God and his for you. This is what you really want to hide. In honesty, it is not harder for you to say, I love, Is it not harder for you to say I love than I hate? You associate love with weakness and hatred with strength, and your own real power seems to you as your real weakness. For you could not control your joyous response to the call of love if you heard it, and the whole world you thought you made would vanish. The Holy Spirit then seems to be attacking your fortress, for you would shut out God, and He does not will to be excluded. You have built your whole insane belief system because you think you would be helpless in God's presence. And you would save yourself from His love because you think it would crush you into nothingness. You are afraid it would sweep you away from yourself and make you little because you believe that magnitude lies in defiance and that attack is grandeur. You think you have made a world God would destroy, and by loving Him, which you do, you would throw this world away, which you would. Therefore, you have used the world to cover your love, and the deeper you go into the blackness of the ego's foundation, the closer you come to the love that is hidden there. And it is this that frightens you. You can accept insanity because you made it, but you cannot accept love because you did not. You would rather be a slave of the crucifixion than a son of God in redemption. Your individual death seems more valuable than your living oneness. For what is given you is not so dear as what you made. You are more afraid of God than of the ego, and love cannot enter where it is not welcome. But hatred can, for it enters of its own volition and cares not for yours. You must look upon your illusions and not keep them hidden, because they do not rest on their own foundation. In concealment they appear to do so, and thus they seem to be self-sustained. This is the fundamental illusion on which the others rest. For beneath them, and concealed as long as they are hidden, is the loving mind that thought it made them in anger. And the pain in this mind is so apparent when it is uncovered that its need of healing cannot be denied. Not all the tricks and games you offer it can heal it. For here is the real crucifixion of God's Son, and yet He is not crucified. Here is both His pain and His healing, for the Holy Spirit's vision is merciful and His remedy is quick. Do not hide suffering from His sight, but bring it gladly to Him. Lay before His eternal sanity all your hurt, and let Him heal you. Do not leave any spot of pain hidden from His light. And search your mind carefully for any thoughts you may fear to uncover. For He will heal every little thought you have kept to hurt you, and cleanse it of its littleness, restoring it to the magnitude of God. Beneath all the grandiosity you hold so dear is your real call for help. For you call for love to your Father, as your Father calls you to Himself. In that place which you have hidden, you will only to unite with the Father in loving remembrance of Him. You will find this place of truth as you see it in your brothers and sisters. For though they may deceive themselves, like you, they long for the grandeur that is in them. And perceiving it, you will welcome it, and it will be yours. For grandeur is the right of God's Son, and no illusions can satisfy Him or save Him from what He is. Only His love is real, and He will be content only with His reality. Save from Him His illusions, that you may accept the magnitude of your Father in peace and joy. But exempt no one from your love, or you will be hiding a dark place in your mind where the Holy Spirit is not welcome. And thus you will exempt yourself from His healing power. For by not offering total love, you will not be healed completely. Healing must be as complete as fear. For love cannot enter where there is one spot of fear to mar its welcome. You who prefer separation to sanity cannot obtain it in your right mind. You were at peace until you asked for special favor, and God did not give it the request. Give it for the request was alien to Him. And you could not ask this of a father who truly loved his son. Therefore, you made of him an unloving father, demanding of him what only such a father could give. And the peace of God's Son was shattered, for he no longer understood his father. He feared what he had made, but still more did he fear his real father, having attacked his own glorious equality with him. In peace, he needed nothing and asked for nothing. In war, he demanded everything and found nothing. For how could the gentleness of love respond to his demands, except by departing in peace and returning to the Father? If the Son did not wish to remain in peace, he could not remain at all. For a darkened mind cannot live in the light, and it must seek a place of darkness where it can believe it is where it is not. God did not allow this to happen. Yet you demanded that it happen, and therefore believed that it was so. To single out is to make alone, and thus make lonely. God did not do this to you. Could he set you apart, knowing that your peace lies in his oneness? He denied you only your request for pain, for suffering is not part of his creation. Having given you creation, he could not take it from you. He could but answer your insane request with a sane answer that would abide with you in your insanity, and this he did. No one who hears his answer but will give up insanity. For his answer is the reference point beyond illusions, from which you can look back on them and see them as insane. But seek this place and you will find it, for love is in you and will lead you there. Okay. So Marianne Williamson talks about this, where she says, what we're really afraid of is heaven, is God, is pure love, is perfect and bountiful peace, joy, and abundance. People, for some reason, are really afraid of that. I think they want it. They really do, right? Hello, I want that. But when it comes right down to it, that means that we have to give up this world, right? That this kind of people here are really addicted to hierarchy, to less than, more than, better than, worse than, to imperfect, to struggle, to strife, to addiction, to depression, to anger, to fear, to utilizing fear, to control people, to controlling, to manipulating. People are really attached to those things. So they're like, oh, wow, heaven sounds nice. But when you really start to understand the pureness and wholeness of heaven, you reject it. People reject it. They're like, nope, never mind. I don't want that. That's too scary. It's not scary. That pisses me off. Or I'm sorry, I would love that, but I've got this going on and I've got this. And I'm about to get promoted. I'm going to get to boss these people around. Whatever it is, they just can't give up this world. They have a very hard time doing that. And I think that's what he's talking about here, is just God's will for us is pure peace and joy. We're the ones who asked for something different, and who have been engaging in that conflict and darkness ever since through this journey in time. Now, of course, there is great joy to be found here, and there has been much peace, and we can be at peace and experience joy. But God's will for us is to experience those things in every moment, constantly and consistently, for the rest of time and for all eternity. And that's just something that people have a hard time accepting, especially for one another. I think people can start to accept that for themselves, even though they'll still look upon the world they're in and go, how am I going to let go of this? Or how is this going to work? Or how is that going to work? But once they look upon one another, they go right back to, nope, we need this judgment, we need this better than, we need this worse than, they need to know this, this, and this. And so it's hard because until you can accept God's will for everyone, it's very difficult to accept it for yourself. But that's just how I see it. But so we all are here thinking ourselves as separate, and that's what I'm experiencing right now. And it just says that God is not the one who sets us apart, knowing that our peace lies in his oneness. Right? He wants us to be at peace. He wants us to experience peace and joy, and he knows that the only place we can truly experience that is with him. So he wants us with him. He doesn't keep us separate. We keep ourselves separate. By believing in superiority or inferiority. And we inflict those things on one another constantly and on ourselves. I feel inferior all the time. All the time. Someone told me I was Job today. Isn't that funny? I keep thinking, who is this character? Sorry, that was random. But yes, that did happen. Job, here we go. Job was written to help people learn that suffering is not always punishment from God. Terrible things happen to Job. Job and his 3 friends discuss why God has let these things happen. God tells Job and his friends to just trust him. God then heals Job and makes him wealthy again. God does let bad things happen to good people. When bad things happen, it does not mean that God is punishing them for some sin. The story of Job took place in a land called Uz. Uz. Probably in Syria or Palestine. Satan destroys Job's wealth and family. Satan makes Job very ill. Job says God isn't fair. God shows his greatness to Job, and God makes Job well and wealthy. Anyways. Pochoko. Bildad. Bildad. Oh. That was Gildad. Anyways, that just came out randomly, but someone really did say that. And I was like, I do remember a conversation of someone telling me I was Job. But who knows? Maybe it was for a reenactment or something like that. And then they kept making that same joke they always make. You had one job. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Oh, thanks, Jordan. Anyways, I'm sure I sound crazy. You can just stick to lesson 6. Let's do that, and then I'm going to go to bed. 916 Sacramento. I am upset because I see something that is not there. The exercises with this idea are very similar to the preceding ones. Again, it is necessary to name both the form of upset, anger, fear, worry, depression, and so on, and the perceived source very specifically for any application of the idea. For example, I am angry at myself because I see something that is not there. I am worried about the world because I see something that is not there. Today's idea is useful for application to anything that seems to upset you and can profitably be used throughout the day for that purpose. However, the 3 or 4 practice periods which are required should be preceded by a minute or so of mind searching, as before, and the application of the idea to each upsetting thought uncovered in the search. Again, if you resist applying the idea to some upsetting thoughts more than to others, remind yourself of the 2 cautions stated in the previous lesson. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. And I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then I will regard them all as the same. So there are no small upsets. And if you uncover a bunch of upsets, don't try to release some of them and hold on to one or 2 more and go, okay, well, I'm still upset about this, and I'm just going to be upset about that, and that's it. Like, okay, just let them all go. You're going to see them all as the same for this purpose, and you're going to let them all go because there are no small upsets. I am upset because I see something that isn't there. So that's, if I could apply that, I guess, to my experience today. What am I upset about today? Well, I'm upset at people giving up on me. So maybe I'm seeing something that isn't there. Maybe they aren't actually really giving up on me. Maybe in truth, even if they don't realize it in their awareness in this moment, they are still there for me, or they're still planning to be here for me. So maybe they aren't really giving up to me, because I know that giving up on me, sorry, because we don't do that with one another, at least that I remember. And what else am I upset about? I'm upset that I'm in a strange place. Well, maybe I'm seeing something that isn't there. Maybe this place isn't as strange as I am trying to make it. Maybe there's something or someone here more familiar than I am allowing myself to believe or to perceive. Or maybe there's some reason I'm here that is not punishing or predatory. Maybe there's some expression of true or perfect love here, that, or guidance, or heavenly expression. So maybe I can try and look for that while I seem to be here. So that's helpful. That's helpful to me. That already helped me turn my mind just a little bit. And so I'm very grateful for that. All right. Well, it's been 48 minutes. I'm sure that you are just waiting for me to end this little video. So I love you, and I will speak with you tomorrow. And tomorrow is the function of time. So I'm looking forward to that one. Okay. All right. Bye. Have a great day. Great night. Great night. Great night.